Another fallen antenna all the way out here. They're desperate to get everyone they can together. Wonder if they tried to reach their old homeworld with this. Another fallen antenna all the way out here. They're desperate to get everyone they can together. Interesting. The Fallen hid this one pretty well. I guess after we beat them up during the Siva crisis, they'd want to give us as wide a berth as possible. A forgotten crate, hidden away in shadow, probably empty. This terminal was first powered on in the Cosmodrome during the Siva crisis. Maybe we shouldn't get too close. They were using this terminal to control the elevator. No wonder it almost crushed us into Guardian and Ghost soup. Supplies marked for the House of Judgment. I wonder what happened to Varix. You think the Wreath survived the Red Legion? More abandoned supplies. Huh. The Fallen are harder to clear out than cockroaches. This antenna was used on the Fallen network less than a year ago. It relayed a signal past the Reef, past the Dreadnought. I wonder if they knew about Nessus before we did. This antenna was used on the Fallen network less than a year ago. It relayed a signal out past Saturn. I wonder if they knew about Nessus before we did. What was that giant shank made up of servitor parts called? Saber 2, right? I wonder if you can make a giant servitor from a bag of shank parts. Is that a sack full of shanks? What do you think they're going to do with all that tech? Can you make a big shank from a bunch of little shanks? I've never seen a servitor this tiny. I wonder if it was a prototype for old Sepix, like Sepix Beta. Sepix Inferior? Anyway, this is some kind of prototype for a servitor. Abandoned next to a rock. Promise me you won't let me end up like this. An arc spear. We thought the House Fallen were bad, but it's hard to imagine a haughty House of Kings guy rushing at us with one of these. A depleted arc spear from one of those stabby guys. The Fallen have always had it bad, but they've really started to get desperate, huh? We saw this rune before, on the Dreadnought. It means either doorway, or treasure, or chamber. Perhaps the Hive used this rune to tap into their throne world dimensions. Hive runes draw their power from a different dimension, where there's no difference between a word and its meaning. When the Hive erode the barrier between our dimension and theirs, the rune for death brings literal death. The Fallen need servitors to provide them with ether, unless they found a replacement, like Siva. Gosh, I hope there's no Siva on Titan. The Fallen depend on their servitors to provide a substance called ether, but this one's been picked clean of ether and abandoned. Skolas tried to unite the Fallen houses, but failed. Who would have thought that sheer desperation would succeed where he failed? This receiver is pointed at the Fallen homeworld, light years away, but it hasn't picked up any messages. Just silence. If I'm reading this right, there are other gardens, like Black Garden gardens. I couldn't tell if they were being built or were already destroyed. What does it mean? All the foliage around this access point is somehow augmenting its firewall. I thought the trees were mostly organic, but just add this to the pile of things we don't understand about the Vex. Hezen Protective. But I thought they were only deployed on Venus. Does this mean different Vex units have started traveling through gates? That's not great. A gold-plated Vex? We better not tell Cade. He'd come all the way out here just to melt it down and make it into a pistol. This crystal's made of the same material as the lighthouse on Mercury. Remember the first time we went there? I wonder if it's still out there. This crystal's made of the same silicate composite as the gate below us. Half of the metals are from this system, and other half, I really have no idea. For a second, I thought there was some kind of Siva outbreak on Nessus. That would be bad on so many levels. How about we never see that stuff again? We came all the way up here, and this access point won't even let me into the Vex network. I guess we should take that as a sign. I'm getting some weird readings from this conflux. Hey, remember the old vault of glass? There are some fractured headers here marked Atheon, Secrion, Theosion. I don't know why the Vex would put a conflux all the way up here, unless it was for the view. But Vex aren't really big on aesthetics. This reminds me of one of Zur's strange coins. A big one. Come to think of it, do we even know where strange coins come from? It may look like a big creepy eyeball, but I'm pretty sure this is just a Vex exhaust receptacle. Just don't touch it. I wonder whatever happened to that Exo who warned us about the Black Garden. I hope she's okay. I've heard rumors that the Exo were created to fight a war against the Vex. We should ask Cade if he knows anything about it. I'm detecting a faint connection here to... the Vault of Glass. Remember Kabir? Pahanin? Pradith? Guardians who make a mark on the Vex become legends. Kabir, Pahanin, Pradith, Osiris.